Well, let's talk about this and a whole lot more with Professor Olawale Ajayi. He joins us. He's the head of Department of Strategy at the Lagos Business School. Joins us virtually now from Lagos Business School. Dr. Ajayi, Professor Ajayi, beg your pardon. Good morning, and thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So we did see that circular on Friday, late on Friday, from the CBN. I think that's the latest we've had. We don't know what's going to happen this week. Talking about the customs duties, which we know has been changed about 6 times so far this year. We're just in the second month of the year. And now where they say that they're just whatever rate is prevalent at the time of initiating a transaction, that is what will be used to carry through. Do you think this actually brings certainty to that space?
I think it's an attempt to ensure that players can, plan, that there can be some predictability. And I think that's a pragmatic response. So I certainly will not fault it. One thing about development, countries trying to navigate development, national development, economic development, is that they must be ready, policymakers must be ready to be agile, and they must be ready to be to experiment. So I would say that that was a good response. And certainly, you cannot, you would actually do havoc in terms of the marketplace, helping people to plan, and the prices will keep moving in a yo-yo manner. So probably this is an attempt to try to begin to herd the market towards some measure of stability.
But Prof, if you were to maybe grade the efforts so far, especially from the central bank's stance, a lot of adjustments have been made. Some people have said that actually brings a lot of uncertainty. Why don't we have a wholesome update of the policies at once? How would you grade the current efforts?
I think we have to separate the central bank before the appointment of Mr. Cardoso. You remember there was some sort of interregnum. And even at that time, well, we started with Mr. Emefiele. There was an interregnum. There were issues of probe and so on and so forth. So that certainly suggests that in that period, there was not the necessary level of stability to be able to think holistically about things. But since Mr. Cardoso took over, one would expect that while there will not be complete institutional stability, however, there would be a movement towards being able to look back and look forward. So I would say that they've done well enough. It would be a bit presumptive. And I know for the public, business persons who are being hit by the uncertainties, there is no excuse. But I think under the difficult circumstances, I would say that they're doing fairly well. What I would not like, and what everyone who loves Nigeria should advocate, is that nothing should be done, by panic measures. We should try to be a bit more evidence-based in what we do. But there needs to be clarity and probably communication around the strategy. And I think for me, we're waiting to see that communication about the strategy. We'll get past the volatility. But you remember that when Mr. Soludo was central bank, it was very clear there was some journey plan, FSS 2020, consolidation of the banks and so on and so forth. That was very clear. So we want a return to that measure of strategic thought at the central bank. My personal view, a very humble view, is that since Mr. Soludo left, the other central bank governors had not sort of tried to follow through, had not tried to really look at the national competitiveness. And of course, we had it veering into unorthodox measures, which admittedly has left us very badly done by.
All right, Prof. I hear you asking for clarity and direction, for the plans and strategy. Thank you. And no doubt you are the head of the Department of Strategy, so I'm sure you really appreciate getting the strategy. But thank you so much, Prof. Olawale Ajayi, Head Department of Strategy at the Lagos Business School.
Thank you very much.